Welcome to Conversations. I'm your host, Doug Doohan, and thank you for spending some time with us this weekend. Joining me this segment is Tanya Gwynn, co-founder and executive director of the Trail Youth Coffee Home. Join us as we look at issues that affect us here at home in our community and across the nation. Today we're going to be finding out about providing purpose, value, and community for teens and the impact it has on their lives. Tanya, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
It is exciting. It's super exciting to have you on. I think the work that you're doing is great. Just looking at it from like a kind of top-down view, I'd like to dive deeper into it. Can you tell me a little bit about Trail Youth Coffee Home? Like, what was the inspiration? What's the mission of the work you're doing?
Yeah, so we have a nonprofit coffee shop and roastery that provides job training, job mentoring services to teenagers at no cost. Our name, Trail Youth, is because we actually started out on the trail. So we saw young people that had lost hope, and some were sleeping in the woods and on drugs, and just needed someone to pour into them and let them know that they are valuable, worthy, and here for a purpose. And so fast forward a few years, we became a 501c3 and finally got an indoor safe space to be a safe oasis for youth. And that was a dream because it's hard to have a meaningful conversation and find out when someone needs in all the weather that we experience here in the Pacific Northwest. So,
yeah,
yes,
100%. The weather makes it very difficult, depending on like your location, what you have as far as safety, your shelter, and then honestly, even in your mental health, if you don't have a support system. How do you, as a person who works with teens and youth, view the current landscape for mental health and purpose in teens? Now, you say you started this because, you were seeing a lot of youth with addiction issues, homelessness, mental health issues. How do you see it now versus maybe what it was then? Is it still the same? And what problems do you see for them?
Well, I see the need for the services have increased so much, especially with the pandemic, and youth that were already isolated feel even more isolated. So we like to be a bridge to the many services that are out there. I have a background in social work, and I think there's also a stigma for asking for help and for actually going through the doors of some places. So we have counselors from Friends of Youth and other places that actually meet their youth in our coffee shop to meet with who they're counseling. We have teen-only hours, so those where kids can come in and it's their space every day. And including that, they can come in and get one free drink a day. And all of our drinks come with a positive affirmation. We want youth to know that they're worthy, they're valuable, and here for a purpose.
Do you think, now I'm going to date myself a little bit. I'm 40 years old, so I kind of grew up alongside the internet. And when I was young, there wasn't really social media, where people are literally just showing the absolute best sides of them. And those who have the most tend to get more traction. Do you see, if I had seen that growing up, my mental health, which was already struggling through my teenage formative years, would have been so much worse. Do you think that plays into it, watching others with so much in such a open platform?
Yeah, absolutely. It does. We see a lot of teens that are just faced with a lot of extra pressure and negativity from social media. So whether it's from friends or the pressure to be like someone that they see on Instagram, it forms cracks in self-confidence, and as a result, some look to doing some risky behavior to find an escape.
Yeah, well, I see the same thing among my peers. I'm like, you have so much more than me. And then I realize I'm doing okay. But it's so bad for your mental health. How does Trail Youth help with that feeling of isolation?
Well, we are here for all youth, so we include everybody. And so from the second that you walk through the door, you are known that you are very valuable. And all the services that we provide are at no cost. So we have a lot of job training services like barista, coffee roasting. We have a media, marketing, and even a podcast. And we offer those services at no cost. So let's say you are interested in maybe becoming a barista, because we have connections with Starbucks, who actually has programs that can pay for college.
Oh, nice.
We bring you in and we train you at your own pace, no matter what you're going through, no matter what anxiety level. And you can go out and get a job in the community. We've actually trained 88 youth in the last 9 months, and 50 have gone on to paying jobs in the community.
Wow. That's a pretty impressive number for less than a year to have put people on. How do you see, how do you see the youth? You're in North Bend, correct?
We are. We roast our coffee in North Bend, and we actually have expanded. We have a coffee stand in the Snoqualmie Valley Hospital, where we train youth there as well.
Oh, wow. I didn't know. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. That's great. How do you see the youth around North Bend who have utilized your service? Do you see a discernible increase in mood, community involvement? What do you see?
Absolutely. I would say community involvement. They take ownership in our space, and we actually give back we have a relationship with Bombas Socks. And so we've been able to tag the socks with positive affirmations and give them to the food bank and shelters and people that need them.
Tell me a little bit about the pro. You talked about barista training and doing it at your own reach, at your own pace. Did you say, I believe you said 88 in the last 9 months. Is that all coming through the barista training?
So most, I would say probably 70% of that have come through the barista training, but we also have a marketing program. So the youth do our social media, our merchandise, and we have professionals in our community who come and talk to us about graphic design, photography. And so they learn in that, and then they can go on and get a paying job.
Nice.
And a lot of times when we first meet youth, they're not just jumping right in to apply for our programs. They first come in, make sure that we are a safe space, come in during our drop-in hours or our drop-in activities like art. And then, we start that relationship, and then they see that we're a safe space and what the opportunities are. And then usually they apply to volunteer then.
Now you talk about mobile outreach. Now, what type of outreach are we talking about? How is that done? What is it? And what do you see the impact of that?
So during the pandemic, at the very beginning, we missed a lot of youth that weren't walking through our doors. And so we fundraised and got a mobile coffee trailer, so like a coffee shop on wheels. So we've been able to take that out to skate parks, farmers markets, schools, and just share our mission even further for those who might not know about where our brick and mortar is. We just go out and share our mission and our message to remove negative labels and pour into people.
I'm envisioning, and this is not what you're saying, but I'm envisioning like the ice cream man who drives through the neighborhoods, but with coffee instead. That's $1 billion idea right there, the coffee delivery system. And I also saw there's another program called LEAD, and it's an acronym. Can you tell me what that stands for? What is it, and how does that work?
Yeah, well, that's basically all the programs that we just mentioned. So it's leadership, educate, advocate, and develop. So you develop your skills. And so we have youth that are in many programs at one time. So sometimes they start out in the barista, and then they think, oh, well, I might be interested in learning more marketing or media with our podcast. We also have relationships with big picture high schools. So those are schools that are more job focused. So youth come to our coffee shop to learn competencies for their school. So they'll come and learn and work with us 2 days a week, and then they actually go to school the other 3 days.
So you've had a lot of youth come through, it sounds like, and I'm guessing some in situations where their mental health is really in a bad place before they start. Maybe they have other issues at home with addiction. How have you seen your program give them purpose and elevate their mood, elevate their intention, and change the way that they see the world? How would you describe that works?
I think having a trusted adult to talk to is just invaluable. So like, someone that's not paid to do it or someone that's not related to you, just pouring into youth that they can share whatever they're going through. And we do. We have some kids that we serve that are sleeping on the floor, that don't have a good home situation, that have, many mental health struggles. And so having that connection, we can actually address that and connect them to resources because we have that trust.
Yeah, and I think it's amazing. And so if somebody listening right now wants to utilize your service, how would they go about finding you, maybe just dropping in, volunteering, or even working?
Yeah, go to our website, trailyouthcoffee.org. And yeah, you can find out how to get involved, how to donate, what our hours are and our locations. And we would love to see you.
Now, I noticed that there's a section for adults. How does that work within the Trail Youth Coffee Home?
We are mainly run by volunteers. So we also train adults, barista training and coffee roasting. And we need help with events and different activities. So we also encourage adults to get involved with our program and mission. And that's also on our website.
Well, I think providing teens with a safe place to go and learn skills, valuable skills for job or just, mental health or personal growth is amazing. Again, I'm talking to Tanya Gwynn, the co-founder and executive director of the Trail Youth Coffee Home. So once again, just let people know where to find you online, where are your locations?
Yes, we are. You can find out everything about us on our website, which is trailyouthcoffee.org. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We often post where we are in our mobile coffee trailer and then about activities that we have coming up. We have Trail Youth Tuesdays. So we have something special every Tuesday this summer. We have tie-dye coming up and some special art that we do with coffee and ink stamping. So check it out.
Well, Tanya, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you for listening. Conversations is a public affairs program of this station.